Hello and welcome, our beloved viewers, to RTD's News English Edition. For tonight, for the highlights, we got following his brilliant re-election, President Anglais receives a message of congratulations from Moroccan President. And on the international scene, the 12th Ebola epidemic eradicated. Those were the major highlights for tonight. Welcome again to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, continues to receive congratulatory messages from several of his counterparts, head of state and government of brotherly and friendly countries, as well as from internet personalities belonging to international, continental, and regional organizations following his brilliant re-election to the supreme magistracy of the country. The French President, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, is among a group of leaders who have recently sent their warm congratulations to the Djiboutian head of state. As the Djibouti Constitutional Council has just confirmed your re-election as head of the country, I am pleased to wish you every success the President wrote. In the telegram addressed to his Djiboutian counterpart, I hope that this will be an opportunity for Djibouti to continue on the path of progress and development, the French head of state also noted in the same document. Mr. Emmanuel Macron then took advantage of this message to reiterate his country's interest in the Republic of Djibouti. Your country is an essential partner for France and our bilateral relationship is one of my priorities, he said, welcoming the strengthening of the level of cooperation between the two countries following Guelleh's visit to France last February. The Committee on Finance, General Economy and Planning examined today the financial accounts for the year 2018. As of the Djiboutian International Airport, the meeting saw the participation of the Minister of Equipment of Transport, Mr. Musa Mohammed Ahmed, accompanied by his staff as well as representatives of the social bodies of the international airport, including the Chairman of the Board of Directors and the Director General of the said public institutions. At the end of the discussions on the structural and financial situation of the accounts of the international airport for the year 2018, the Standing Committee in charge of parliamentary control over public funds forwarded this bill to the next public session of the National Assembly with its favorable opinion. Moving on, the Peace and Security Council of the African Union, chaired by the chairpersons of the PSC, for the month of April 2021, His Excellency Ambassador Mohammed Idris Farah is carrying out its fact-finding mission to Jemana in Chad. The mission started on 29 April and will last until 6th of May of 2021. In addition to the chairperson of the PSC, the mission is composed of the AU Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, members of the PSC including the ambassadors of Ghana, Egypt, West, North, and the Lesotho South, as well as the Democratic Republic of Congo in its capacity as the current chairpersons of the AU. In accordance with the PSC communique adopted on its 993rd meeting of 22 April 2021 on the situation in Chad, the mission will discuss with the Chadian authorities all issues relating to the situation in the country, including the key issues relating to sustainable peace and stability, fight against terrorism and violent extremism, armed rebellion and transnational crime, and shall reaffirm its solidarity with the government and people of Chad for the unwavering commitment to support the transition process and the investigation into the murder of the late President Idris, and to investigate the facts with a view to restoring constitutional order. To the municipality of Balbala received this morning a donation of cleaning equipment as part of the improvement of its cleanliness. This materials came from the Presidency of the Republic, including the Secretary General of the Presidency, Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi Wa'es. The donation consisted of cleaning kits such as wheelbarrow, shovel, pick sacks, and sweeper and broom. The ceremony of the reception of the cleaning materials was chaired by the President of the Commune of Balbala, Mr. Idris Bashir, and saw the participation of the Deputy President of the Commune, Salasi Hassan, the local elected officials and District Council, the President of the Commune of Balbala, Mr. Idris, the Secretary General of the Presidency for granting this donation of hygiene materials. At MENFOP, vaccination against COVID-19 continues for the second week in a row. The vaccination campaign continues at MENFOP for the benefit of education professionals. Convinced that the coronavirus pandemic can only be effectively combated through vaccination, MENFOP is banking on the option of vaccinating all its staff. With this in mind, a vaccinarium has been set up for the past 2 weeks at MENFOP headquarters with the valuable collaboration of the Ministry of Health and doctors from the Djibouti Armed Forces. This action, carried out in collegial and supportive, is apart and all against the spirit of the COVID in the country. Although the primary aim is to protect education professionals who are constantly exposed to the risk of COVID-19, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, reminds us that this action is part of the broader strategy of response against COVID-19, prescribed by the government on a national scale. To date, nearly 1,000 teachers have benefited from the vaccine, half of whom have received the second dose, said the Director General of Education, Mr. Abdi Dirir. In his capacity as supervisor, he did not fail to express his full satisfaction with the progress of the vaccination operation, which are being carried out under very good conditions. In addition, it is worth noting the massive and almost daily participation of teachers from all over the schools. The competition of the 7th edition of Qasaid and Poetry National Festival ended at the headquarters of the National Theatre. This precious event that the Ministry of Culture organizes every year during this blessed month of Ramadan was an excellent opportunity for all the consonants who came from the capital and from different regions of the interior, where they competed in an atmosphere of happiness and joy while praising the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the theme of religion. The event brought together 56 groups of artists and poets, and the consonants competed on several topics, including the praise of the Prophet and the Quran and religion in various local languages. The competition aims to select the best candidates who will shine with the most beautiful poems, qasaid, words, and verses, using all the poetic tools and various methods and structures of the different national languages, as well as offer all the participants to show their cultural ability in praising the Prophet religions to make qasaid and encourage them to admire the reading. It is with great sadness that we announce the death of Hawa Awale Wale in France on May the 3rd, 2021. The deceased was born on 1916 Ali Sibih. She left behind a daughter. She was employed at the Djiboutian telecommunication station on the eve of our independence and then held a position of responsibility at the mobile company until its closure. The management of staff of RTD offered their sincerest condolence to the family of the deceased. May Allah welcome her into her eternal paradise. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Shifting gears towards the international, the Minister of Health of the Democratic Republic of Congo has officially declared the end of the 12th Ebola epidemic. Almost 3 months after its reoccurrence in North Kivu, the Ebola virus disease has been eradicated thanks to the use of a vaccine. A vaccine made by U.S. laboratory has been used to prevent the spread of this 12th epidemic. The World Health Organization having elevated it to the rank of emergency for fear that it would spread. The Ebola virus is transmitted mainly through bodily fluids. Its main symptoms include fever, vomiting, bleeding, and diarrhea. The largest outbreak occurred between 2013 and 16, killing 11,000 people in West Africa. Despite the announcement, the DRC government has urged the population to remain vigilant and to keep in touch with surveillance teams. That was it for tonight's edition, our beloved viewers. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to stick around for the French news up next with our colleague Samater. Thank you and have a wonderful night.